you told me a little bit about coffee back then. So if you don't mind me asking, so how do you like your coffee?
Oh, well, you know, one of the attractions of Indonesia is the strong coffee. I've always liked strong coffee. And you have a tremendous variety of coffees. When I first came to Indonesia back in the fall last year, just within weeks, my friends were emailing me saying, Starbucks Canada subsidiary is now advertising in Canada that they carry Indonesian coffee. So this is, as I say, a good sign that Indonesia is picking up its game, exporting agricultural products and apparel products and other items, including furniture. You know, there's a Canadian furniture company in Semarang that's expanding. It's been there for many years. They employ 300 people. And all of the furniture is exported to Canada. But getting back to coffee, yes, I enjoy the not just the coffee, but the year-long availability of fresh fruit, which in a country like Canada with our winters is not common. So I find the Indonesian cuisine wonderful, and I also find in my early months here Indonesian people to be both friendly and engaging and interested in Canada, and we, of course, are reciprocating our interest in Indonesia.
What do you think about the recent political situation in Indonesia? How would it affect our relationship, especially the business relationship that we have so much optimism for?
I'm very impressed with the quality of the cabinet assembled by President Jokowi and the senior leadership, particularly on the economic side of things. The infrastructure you see being built here in Jakarta is impressive, it's necessary. The ambitiousness of hosting the Asian Games next year, the ambitiousness of hosting the World Bank IMF meetings in Bali next October. You know, not enough people in Canada and around the world realize that 30% of the Indonesian cabinet of ministers is female. What other country in Asia, or yet around the world, can say that there are female ministers, powerful ministers, finance and foreign affairs and SOEs, very capable ministers, very impressive ministers, that the president has been able to assemble some very strong political leadership in order to press forward with economic reforms and to maintain the unity and diversity motto, which Canada shares with Indonesia. It's one of the attractions. We do believe that the more different you are, the stronger you are. Differences make us stronger. One reason that Prime Minister Trudeau and the government was very happy to, through our refugee policy, accept 40,000 Syrian refugees, and that continues to grow. Many of these Syrian refugees are being sponsored by Canadian families. So and some of these families are immigrants themselves or children of immigrants. The new Minister of Immigration and Refugees, Government of Canada, at the age of 16, left Somalia as a refugee, and today he's the minister. There are some really interesting areas where we share common interests, and we do see Indonesia and Canada standing together as models for the world to show that diversity, that different ethnic groups, different languages, different religions can live in harmony together, and as a result generate prosperity and peace and just a great lifestyle. This is something that Indonesia should be very proud of. One of our goals is to see Indonesia and Canada at the United Nations and in other fora provide some models just through our actions and how we operate for other countries, particularly countries that are early on in their development, such as Myanmar, for example. And I have to say that the government of Indonesia has been very helpful, your foreign minister in particular, in helping Myanmar in its very early days as a new democracy try and manage some internal pressures, which of course Indonesia knows about, and which we too in Canada have had many. We've had national unity issues in the past, and we have Aboriginal and Indigenous peoples in Canada, which we are trying to help develop, and the Government of Canada and the Prime Minister has said that our Indigenous peoples are our top priority in terms of domestic development. No country is perfect. What's really interesting about 2017 is that that the Sustainable Development Goals of the United Nations apply to all countries, including so-called advanced countries such as Canada. And it's making us accountable to, within Canada, improve, and it's the way to go, of course. So, you know, we have peacekeepers standing together. Indonesian and Canadian peacekeepers are operating together places like Haiti, places like South Sudan, and we expect to see more. Both our governments want to step up peacekeeping. There's another area of joint interest. And the good news is that Canada has been training many Indonesian military and police over the years. And this is something that we continue to do, and in fact, we probably will be intensifying in the future.
What is your favorite thing in Indonesia?
Well, as I said earlier, I find that people are very engaging, happy, and easy to get along with, curious. I also find the rural scenery to be spectacular, and I'm not just talking about Bali and Lombok. I've seen pictures of Raja Ampat and Ambon and West Papua, and so I've been able to get to 4 of your 17,000 islands. I've been to Java, of course, Sulawesi, Lombok, and Bali. But over the coming year, I expect to get to Sumatra, Kalimantan, and West Papua. I've had the great pleasure, I must say, of visiting some of the United Nations UNESCO heritage sites, Borobudur and Prambanan in central Java, which are outstanding. I took my family there, and we very much enjoyed learning about the history and culture of this magnificent country. The beaches, the forests are quite extraordinary, but it's mainly the people. And I have to say, we are very well dealt with in terms of meeting with senior officials in the government. I think that I have no complaints in that regard. I do appreciate the fact that I don't have to shovel snow for half the year, or worry about putting on heavy clothing or heavy boots to get through the snow and ice. I find I have to say like today, these tropical thunderstorms quite remarkable. I mean, they are, quite substantial. I've never heard anything like it because we're so close to the equator. Yeah.